Hello everybody, welcome back to a new Italian language lesson. In today's lesson, we are gonna deal with a very important topic. It is the first lesson about the complex sentence. The so-called complex sentence is a phrase made up of different sentences or clauses connected together to construct broader and more complex texts or speeches compared to simple sentences. Till now, I told you everything I know about simple sentences. Remember, a simple sentence is a sentence made up only by the subject and the verb. Are very simple sentences because the effort is minimum. You have to place the correct subject, the verb conjugated to the right person, to the right gender, and léger sans fait. However, after I started a series about complements, complementi, main function of complementi is to add more meaning, aka more informations to simple sentences. I complementi, meaning something complementary, add informations to simple sentences and are connected to that by prepositions. We can find simple prepositions di, a, da, in, con, su, per, tra, fra. And if we couple those prepositions with definite articles, we obtain compound prepositions used when, after simple prepositions, comes a noun that needs an article. However, I also told you that complementi can be added, can be linked to simple sentences also without prepositions, or even with more complex locutions and have the main topic to introduce specific kind of complementi. But until now, well, actually I bet you noticed, yes, because you're genius speakers, of course, you noticed that we dealt with the sentences having one or two tops verbs, the main verb and sometimes an additional verb being part of complementi. But what happens when our speeches need to deliver informations about different actions? So we need different verbs in a sequence. Well, of course, we could tap into simple sentences. Mark mangiò, Mark andò a lavorare, Mark partecipa alla riunione, Mark va in palestra, Mark ate, Mark went to work, Mark goes into a meeting, Mark goes in the gym. Well, technically it is possible, but you will sound like a robot. The first tool we can use to connect sentences together is going to be the usage of prepositions. Now you probably memorized what a preposition is in Italian language. It is a particle that has the main function to connect the simple sentence to complements. We can spot the first preposition in the simple sentence Mark andò a lavorare. Mark went to work. This is a simple sentence, Mark andò, Mark went, where I connect to its first complements, a lavorare, to work. The preposition a introduces the complement motion to a place. Mark subject, andò verb, where a lavorare. However, it's not over because we can use other prepositions to connect this phrase to another one, especially a second sentence that has the same subject, aka Mark. Like to tell to our interlocutors that Mark did two actions. He went to work. For what reason? To participate to the meeting. Per partecipare alla riunione. Per is the preposition that introduces the second clause. Partecipare alla riunione. To enter the meeting. Both verbs lavorare and partecipare are present into their infinite form to maintain the concordance one to each other. So, the first results of our work will be Mark andò a lavorare per partecipare alla riunione. Mark went to work, to enter the meeting, to participate to the meeting. Translations may be vary. However, we can manage to connect the subject Mark to his actions via prepositions, where per partecipare alla riunione it is a really huge complement because it contains not only nouns, prepositions, or adjectives, but also a verb. However, it can be considered still a complement because it describes the purpose of Mark performing the first action of going to work. The second tool we can use are conjunctions. I leave a tab here and down here in the description link about a video I made about Italian conjunctions, how they work and what's their purpose. However, long story short, their function is to connect different sentences. In this case scenario, we can use conjunctions to connect additional sentences to our big period. Mark andò a lavorare per partecipare alla riunione e andare in palestra. Mark went to work to participate to the meeting and to go to the gym. We managed to connect another simple sentence, andare in palestra, to go to the gym. To go where? The gym. So gym is another complement motion to a place. But with a conjunction, we have no necessity to make it out clear that the subject is still Mark. Because it is obvious we are talking about Mark, we explicited the subject in the first sentence. That's why via prepositions and conjunctions we can link together the different actions made by the subject without repeating ourselves. Another very useful tool we can use are adverbs, especially our very important time adverbs, because they add meaning to our sentences, expliciting when something happened in the timeline. In this case scenario, we can use the time adverb dopo, after, to specify and introduce other parts of our speech. Dopo aver pranzato, Mark andò a lavorare per partecipare alla riunione e poi andare in palestra. So I tricked you because I used dopo, after, the first adverb in the first sentence to make it up clear when the action of going to the work, andare al lavoro took place, after, dopo, Mark ate lunch. So when I explicit when in the timeline the action of going to work has happened after lunchtime, I can proceed with my fluid speech until the end. And also I add poi, after, to specify when Mark decided to go to the gym after work. So with only two simple time adverbs, we managed to link the first sentence, the first small sentence, in order to give time and context to our whole set of actions, but also used poi to provide even further informations about the last piece of the speech. Poi, after, going to the gym, andare in palestra. In every complex sentence, there always be a phrase, a small phrase that has a syntax and meaning by its own. So that simple sentence stands by its own, even without any other informations we provide to our interlocutors. That sentence is always called the main clause or ruling phrase, meaning from that tiny sentence the other semantic connections are bounded. The ruling phrase is the principal sentence. We must detect in complex sentences, because once we figured out what's the main sentence, what's the main purpose of the speech, we can derive the whole meaning of periods and contextualize in time and space. The connection between the main clause, the main sentence, and the other additional sentences in Italian language always happens via three different kinds of connections. I can list the relationship of coordination, the apposition, and the subordination. These three main relationships bound the ruling phrase to the other sentences that build the complex period. But those will be topics for further lessons. Sadly, for now, our time is over, so class is dismissed. I hope you enjoyed this very video, so if you please subscribe to my channel, push the like button, and stay tuned for more content coming. In the meantime, remember, speak like genius. Yes. Bye.